Okay, problem number one, first problem, let's start. So number one, what is it going to be? It's going to be, let's see, tan to the fifth power, x, and then there's going to be a secant cubed of x dx. All right, looks like a trig substitution, and the trig substitution going to make is going to be, let's see, I'm going to say u is equal to secant of x, and then I'm going to say du. You need to know the derivatives, by the way. If you can't remember, you can derive it. That's going to be tangent x secant x. dx. All right, I'm going to make a substitution now, and let's put that down. I'll put a little star over here. And I do see a tan x, secant x, and I see a dx, certainly. And the question is, what are you left off with? Well, let's write this down. You'd be left off with, let's say, let's expand it out. So I'm going to expand this to be, I want to get a secant tan in there. So let's write this over here. So I want a secant. I want a tan secant. All right, so let me tell you what's left over. And, I can make secant squared, because then we have secant cubed, right? And that's tan 4 would be left over, all right? So let me just remind you about tangent. Tangent is related to secant. But again, I got a tan 4 left over. It's got to be equal. It's not equal yet. Let me get rid of my star too, because I haven't changed anything yet. So tangent squared of x is the same thing as secant squared. You need to know your identities as well. Minus 1. So I'm going to write that down. And what's that going to be? Well, the tangent squared, I have to square it because I need a fourth power. And what's that going to be? Secant squared x minus 1. All right, let's put this down. Let's go over here. This equals, I can make my substitutions now. And be careful about it. Really be very careful about what you're substituting in over here. So we'll do this one first and see what we come up with. And what do you get there? Well, secant squared would be u squared minus 1. You know what? I noticed I just made a mistake there. I got to correct it. That's not supposed to be 4. It's supposed to be 2. And again, the reason is this is tangent squared, and I need a tan 4. All right? So what do you get up here? You get u squared minus 1 squared. All right? Let's do the next thing. This will be u squared. And then the next thing, I'm kind of looking at, and again, carefully. And that's going to be tan x secant x dx, which is just a du. So I get a much simpler problem now. I still need to expand it, and I'll go through that one step at a time. So it's going to be u4 minus 2u squared plus 1 times u squared du. Keep moving through it. And what do you get there? You get u6 minus 2u4 plus u squared du. Let's keep moving. I can integrate now. You get u7 over 7 minus 2 u5 over 5 plus u cubed over 3 plus some constant of integration. Now I need to go back to the u's, the x's, and the question is what's u? Well, u is secant x. Let's write this down now. So what do you get? Secant to the 7th x over 7 minus 2 secant to the 5th over 5 plus secant cubed over 3 plus a constant c. I always say it's a fine looking answer. Certainly looking at the key, and I'll look at it now, I noticed that they pulled things together with a common denominator, which is not a bad idea. What do you get there? I'm going to say that would be, let's see, 7 times 5 is 35 times 3. 3 times 35 is 90, 105. Put that down. And then I would need a 15. And there I would need 21. And here I would need 35. Again, teachers vary. They may expect certain behaviors over others, but I'm going to point out both of these answers are good for me. And I want to make sure that I'm matching the key, by the way, that I'm getting the 105. I'm getting 15 secant 7. I do see that. Minus 42. I see that. And I see the 35. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Thank you.